Good morning, Prospect. I want to talk to you about what if God is calling us to do a new thing. And I want to look backwards first for a couple of minutes this morning. I have a radio record player combo at home that looks a lot like this. There was a time when it worked. There was a time when I could go into a drugstore and buy tubes for my radio record player combo. Now, not only do I know I can't get them at a drugstore, I'm not sure where I could get them or if I can get them. So, I'm not sure if my radio record player combo will ever work again. People used to sit in their living rooms and watch the radio. There are a few pictures here of that. When the first TV sets were introduced, the screen was 4 or 5 inches wide, and people had to get fairly close to be able to see the little figures dancing on the screen. And today, we have 75-inch flat screen TVs that can actually be rolled up. I know most of us don't have one yet, but I saw one that rolled up, and it's the coming technology. And obviously it only weighed a few pounds. But even the hard TVs now, I've got a 65-inch TV that weighs about 40 pounds. I used to have a 26-inch stereo TV console that weighed 300 pounds, and it took 2 grown men to move. We have adapted to all kinds of changes in our lives. There was a time when if you wanted to hear a preacher, you had to arrange to be where he was when he was preaching. And then their technology advanced so that you could actually listen to that preacher whenever. And then technology advanced again, and you could hear the preacher preaching in Los Angeles if you lived in Georgia. And of course, then it became possible to watch. Well, here's what's happening in the world that we're in today. An awful lot of people have, for their own best health interests, decided that they're not ready to come back to church. And they are watching church online. And I've listened to a lot of you, and you say, well, Pastor, why don't they just come to church? And you see, the problem is that the choice is not come to church or watch church at home. The choice is really between attend church or blow church off. The people who are attending at home are doing their best to be faithful in the best way they know how right now, and I honor and respect that. Part of what I'm saying goes to things like this. And it hurts me, and understand that it does hurt me. We've got to learn to hug people who want to be hugged. An awful lot of the great huggers in the church are older people who are worried about being infected. And some of them, you need to know, they're taking care of other people, so it's not so much that they're worried, but they're trying to make sure they don't infect someone else. But here's my question. Just as radio and then TV have changed the way we experience the world, what if coronavirus were being used by God to change the way we experience church? And in asking that question, I have to ask myself a question. What is the mission of the church? The mission of the church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ. It's not to put on a good show on Sunday morning. It's not to entertain people sitting in the pews. It's to make disciples. And so if you start it from that point, what we're experiencing, I believe, is, and I know I use big words sometimes, but it's a paradigm shift. And they happen from time to time. Obviously, 9/11 changed the way we travel forever. I don't like taking off my shoes and my belt. But it's something, if I have to get on an airplane, I've got to do. I went into the post office this week, and the lady at the post office was very nice. But the post office, even though there isn't a mask mandate, has decided that you're not coming in the post office without a mask. So what we have to do is unlearn all of the things that we ever did. Just before 9/11, I used to carry my pocket knife into the airport. I went through security, but nobody cared that I had a small pocket knife. Now I have to make sure I don't have fingernail clippers. What if, and I don't know this, and I'm not trying to be a doomsday person, but what if we are about to enter the end times? What if this is really one of the signs of the end times? Then isn't it incumbent on us to do everything we can possibly do to reach people for the gospel? And doesn't that include talking to people that can't be here, well, for whatever reason? Doesn't that include interacting with people in as many different ways as we can? And when I ask that question and answer it for myself, my answer is yes. We have to do all those things. And it's not because people are too lazy to come to church. It's because a new door has opened for us, the church, to take the gospel to more people. And I am always reminded that it is not just my job to take the gospel to people. It's your job. There is a very good scripture that says the mission of the pastor is to equip the saints for delivering the gospel. So what I want to do is make it as easy for you to reach people as I can. And in doing that, we will reach the world for Jesus Christ. Prospect, I'm trying my best to prepare us for what's coming. And I think what's coming is going to be exciting and probably terrifying. If you ever been on one of those roller coasters at a little carnival, they are exciting and terrifying because you have no idea how well maintained. We're in new territory. God is doing a new thing. It's incumbent on us to go along for the ride. Join us, won't you? God bless.